Did you hit the go live button? So upcoming Friday nights, me and the degenerate boys that we are, we're coming back with the betting show.
You look at the way he bounces off tacklers, the way that he keeps his eyes downfield, his vision, his ability to find holes, his pass catching ability, right? Because he had.
In my lifetime, I'd put him at probably around the 2 area, with again the only other person up there being King Ricky.
Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams at the 111.
Yeah.
So just hit us. What is up, everybody? Welcome to BSC Sports, part of the BS Network. Today, I'm your host, Jacob Krogan, and with me, as always, I got my boy, Ryan Swift, and you can follow him at Twitter or X at BSC Sports. Ryan, it was obviously Caleb Williams.
Your pre-show. Oh yeah, it is. It is obviously Anthony Richardson, Colts Week 1 starter, 2026. I always say that because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be healthy enough come Week 1.
No, exactly. I actually.
Yeah. No, it is Caleb Williams. Do you know what COD timing is, or like any video game timing? Really, when you're like peeking a corner, nobody's there, and then the second you look away, somebody shows up right where you were looking. That was you with the intro. Did you hit go live?
Oh yeah.
Right to the intro.
It's just like, dang it. But welcome to this New Year's Eve edition of BSC Sports, where we talk fantasy football. And Ryan, the fantasy football season's over, buddy.
It is never over when you play Dynasty. It is just beginning.
That is very true. But did you win any championships?
I need that Doctor Strange like gif where he's doing this to Tony Stark. I won one. It is actually the first redraft championship I have ever gotten in my lifetime.
Oh, well, there you go, buddy. Hey, congrats on that.
The Fantasy Football Expo League, I won by a very slim margin of 3 points. Kyron Williams gave me a bit of a scare. Probably shouldn't have been that close at all, but Brock Purdy decided he wanted to be Superman on Sunday Night Football. So what was looking like I was going to blow this guy out turned into, this super close game, but I did end up winning. So 2 years in the Fantasy Football Expo, I have this guy back here, and I will be adding my championship ring to that. So keeping the hardware alive.
That's how it should be working, right?
How about you, man? Did you win any?
Oh, dude, I got me two. And more importantly, I won my cheapest and my most expensive one. So
you won your cheapest and your most expensive? Is that what you said?
Yep, I won my cheapest one and my most expensive one.
Hey, man, a dub is a dub. Banners fly forever.
Wolfpack, what's up? How you doing? But yeah, so we're going to go over pretty much the playoff MVPs here. That is what we're going to do, or playoff MVPs. Just by positions, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends that did the most work, that took your team and won you something. And hey, there we go, Tim Hawkins.
Nice job, Tim.
2 out of the 4. That's actually great odds there. But yeah, no, Ryan. So I learned something new. And we're just going to jump to tight ends real quick just because I thought this was fascinating. Okay. It's never too late in the year to learn something new.
Yeah, the last day of 2025, first day of 2026 if you play in my Dynasty leagues. We are already turned over.
Yep, before 2026. Gotta love it. Efficiency is what I like to think as that commissioner when it comes to Ryan Swift as commissioner.
Yeah, and for those of you, this is a very realistic possibility, so I understand where this sentiment would come. Nobody has actually brought this up yet. I'm just going to get out ahead of it. I did not intentionally wake up at 3 a.m. to turn the leagues over. It just happened to be that way. And I, was awake, and I was like, let me do something productive. And then once I kept going, I didn't stop. And I did have to get up at 5:45 to be, at my tea time. So that was it took me about an hour to do that. And then I was like, well, am I even going to make it back to sleep? So I did, though. I did.
What's up, Gingy? shouldn't you be like recruiting somebody right now? For those that don't know, yes, I did get engaged, and I will be married eventually sometime in 2026.
So I don't have to keep it a secret from anybody anymore, right? We all know.
Yeah, that I'm engaged. Yeah.
Cool, good deal. Congrats, man. That's huge for you. Got to give you that shout out there, man. I feel like, I haven't met Natasha, but I feel like that she's done some very good things for you. She's a very, big part of your life, man. So that's real awesome. Congrats. Looking forward to that.
I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. And thank you, Tim Hawkins. But yeah, so the thing I learned here is that you never really know who's going to win you a fantasy football championship. And if you had these guys on your team, odds are you won. And now at the end of it, Ryan and I, we're going to give our MVP, the guy that actually went above and beyond and won most people their leagues. And if you had him on your team, congratulations. But my surprise here that I never thought of this entire season, I don't think I thought of his name. But when I went back, looked at the last 2 weeks, that's what I based this off of. If you were in the semis and then the championship, these guys were in the top 10 of their category for their position. And
okay.
Basis of this. And you could have probably given me 42 guesses, and I would not have guessed this tight end. And that is Chigo Okonkwo.
I was going to say, let me take some stabs at it, but okay.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was.
Jake did all the research here. The only thing he asked me to do was to have my season MVP, and I'm stuck between two names.
And we'll get to that. But he finished tight end 6 both weeks, scoring 19 and 16 points. And we are in tight end premium. That is how we do this. For those that are new and watching, we appreciate you. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to grow this as best we can on a 3:50 p.m. Central Time show. But we appreciate everybody watching. But those are huge numbers. And I know at one point, Chig was dead. Gunnar Helm was taking over. And so, Ryan, my question to you is, are you buying Chig, or was this just a one-off for championship owners?
Let me look something up here real quick. I'm not buying Chig. I firmly believe Chig is dead. I actually think he's a free agent in the offseason, if I'm not mistaken. I do want to point out, though, I think this says a lot about Cam Ward. That's what that tells me. And since the bye week, Cam Ward's turned the football over, I think twice. 1 interception and then the strip sack against Chase Young against the Saints. So he's kind of turned it around a little bit. I don't think that he's ever going to have that super high fantasy ceiling because he's not really a runner. And I think that the Tennessee Titans are in such bad shape that it's probably going to take a couple of years to really fix that team. But with the little to no weapons that he had, I mean, he's actually turned it around. He had multiple touchdowns in, I think, 5 of the 7 games after their bye or something like that. So he wasn't winning any leagues. I just want to point those facts out that Cam Ward did show some obvious improvements after the bye, kind of when they fired Brian Callahan. So who knows what the coaching situation is going to look like? Who knows what weapons they can acquire? But Cam Ward's somebody that, I'm keeping an eye on through the offseason. I don't think that his season was as bad as a lot of people think it did. So that's what I take away from that.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. No, I just thought I would never see that man's name on anybody's
I wonder how many leagues he was started in the semis and the finals.
That would be crazy.
Lineup leagues, right? Best ball leagues. I don't.
Yeah, best ball leagues, everybody would have had him.
So,
no, this is all just Dynasty. Ooh, wow, that did. Good for you, Hawkins. Traded Ward for T-Law. Here, I'll pull it up here, buddy. Just so people can see your beautiful name.
Dude, I think, there was a point in time where, that was legit. People were super down on Trevor Lawrence, even to start the season, and obviously I think that there's got to be some balance between where he was last offseason and what he is at the end of the year now. I don't think that he's going to sustain, what's he putting up, 32 points per game or something like that, but
he went nuts, and he definitely went nuts on your team, and that's probably why you won, because we'll just transition into the quarterbacks here. And now here are my 4 quarterbacks. I tried to do 4 from each if there was any more in the top 10. That's fine, but I generally only found 4. There was only 2 wide receivers that scored at top 10 in both weeks, and only 3 tight ends. But quarterbacks are Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, and Caleb Williams. Now, we can start with T-Law here. He went QB 6, week 16, and QB, sorry, the dog's bugging me. This is new for me. And QB 1. He scored 23 and 31 points. Championship week, he scored 31, or I said that backwards, didn't I? I did. So week 16, he got you in with 31 points. He probably got you to the championship. I assume that's what happened for Tim Hawkins. And I had him in a few leagues. Sadly, didn't make it. But quarterback 1, quarterback 6. And, wow, the pup wants to be on TV. Hey, buddy.
Hi, puppy.
Hi, dude. But, like, honestly, how many people were out on T-Law?
Pretty much everybody, which I will say this, and I think we've had this conversation on this show. T-Law for fantasy has never been as bad as he's been perceived in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got the top 12 finish. I think he has 2 of them, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And the year that he got hurt, which was last season, I think he was QB 12 before he got hurt. So he's never been that bad, like for fantasy, and people really just hated him. He's always been a very good buy. And, you know, now we can just dive right into it, I guess. He's teetering on a sell at this point. I mean, again, I'm curious to see like where people have him in his rankings, you know, right now, but I've always thought that he was a fringe top 12 dynasty quarterback, maybe bump him up a couple spots now, but I never thought he was as bad as anybody else. But yeah, people were like way out on Trevor Lawrence. People were selling him for all kinds of craziness, like Cam Ward, who was on like one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah. No. So it's really funny looking at this, but Purdy, that kind of shocks me, but he scored 31 points and then 37 points. He was the QB 2. He was tied for first pretty much. And QB 1. That man balled out when you needed him most, when you thought Mac Jones was taking his job. And so, Ryan, is he a sell for you?
People thought Mac Jones was taking his job?
Oh, dude, there was a ton of people saying start Mac Jones over Brock Purdy. Yep.
That sounded like a great opportunity to buy Brock Purdy.
No, it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still think Purdy's a pretty good buy. And the only reason I say that is because I was, you know, scrolling the dark web of Dynasty, and I had people asking if Brock Purdy was a top 12 fantasy quarterback. And the answer is yes. But especially after this year, right? At some point in time, all of his pass catchers were hurt or whatever Brandon Ayuk was doing, who was hurt. And then, like, I mean, is he still? I don't know. Yeah, he's a top 12 fantasy quarterback in my opinion. Him, Trevor Lawrence slid right up there. They're both, you know, probably closer to 12 than they are 1, but they're both top 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of an unpopular sentiment. I think you can buy Brock Purdy. To answer your question, I didn't really answer that.
No, you're good. No worries, brother. No worries at all. But Joe Burrow here is an interesting topic because everybody thought this was going to be his year. Got all the players. The Bengals, I guess, took a first-round pick on a defensive lineman to upgrade the defense. Took a bunch of defensive players. And then he gets hurt. Did you have any Joe Burrow shares?
I had 1, and I sold him right as he got hurt. I sold him and what turned out to be like a late third for Jackson Dart. I was competing in that league at that time, so when I lost Burrow, I had to do something. But Joe Burrow is absolutely somebody I'm avoiding only because I don't have any shares. But in non-point scoring season, when people forget the bad stuff about Joe Burrow, I would absolutely be selling him. 100% looking to move off of him. He is 29 years old now and has...
Trying to say that's old?
I think half of his seasons in the NFL have ended on IR, if I'm not mistaken, or he's missed substantial time in those seasons. At this point, you got to throw the injury prone tag on him. Burrow's great when he's healthy, but the best ability is availability, and he's not available. He's not somebody you're going to be able to rely on. At this point, you can't really trust the Browns to go fix the offensive line problems that have existed for his 6 years in the NFL now. It is what it is at this point. Joe Burrow is an elite player when he's on your team, but if I had Joe Burrow, couldn't sell him for a price that I like, that would absolutely be a roster that I would be constructing three solid quarterbacks for, because I would need to anticipate Joe Burrow missing some time.
I got you. And then the last one, of course, Caleb Williams finished QB7 and QB8, and he scored 21 points and 23 points. He's been Mr. Consistency, learning the Ben Johnson offense. Is he the head coach of the year?
There's a few names there. I just had this conversation with Tim Hawkins the other day, actually, and he brought up a fourth name. For me, it was the three names of Mike Vrabel, it was Liam Cohen, it was Ben Johnson, and then he brought up Kyle Shanahan, which is also a good point, another good one there.
Yeah, no, Kyle Shanahan, for what he's done with that defense just being incredibly injured and having Mac Jones come in. And
I was about to say the defense incredibly injured. How about their offense?
Offense as well. But, those quarterbacks are very, very intriguing. And to get to the comments that we like to, Tim Hawkins did ask, is Murray dead for fantasy? Absolutely not.
Smash by. Only I'm so glad you asked this. Kyler Murray's worst season for fantasy on a points per game basis was this year, and it was 17.2.
Oh, no, not 17 points. I can't win with that.
He is a smash buy for the fact that people are asking this question, right? We don't know what it's going to look like, but Kyler Murray is going to start somewhere in 2026, and he's going to provide you a very safe floor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love it. I have him still in some leagues, and there's some that I have to reconstruct, which is going to be the best part of Dynasty in the offseason for me, is figuring out what teams – because I made the playoffs in all my leagues but one. But, some of those teams didn't deserve to be there, and they got smoked before the semis. And so I need to retool those, and that's what we're going to do.
There's a couple quarterbacks I'm surprised you didn't mention. One is going to seem really obvious to people, and that's Drake May, quarterback 7 and then quarterback 2. Probably the league MVP at this point, but definitely could be considered a fantasy MVP who took huge strides despite his best receiver being fresh off ACL tear, Stephon Diggs.
He is in there. I did miss him. And like I said, didn't get the best research on this, ladies and gentlemen, so I appreciate you bringing him up.
And then the other one, because we play in Superflex leagues, this guy could potentially have won you the league too, is Tyler Shuck. Quarterback 16 in the semis and then quarterback 9 in the finals.
Yep.
And this is a guy here who the last 5 weeks, quarterback 12, quarterback 6, quarterback 16, quarterback 16, quarterback 9.
Yeah, no, I looked at his stats this weekend, and I was just like, I have to figure out how to get him in at least one league, because I got to watch the Saints this weekend, dude.
What's the highest you would pay right now for Tyler Shuck in picks? How many picks? What picks? How many picks?
I'd give a first. I think I'd give a late first.
I don't know that I'm that brave yet. I would throw 2 seconds at Tyler Shuck, but the fact that, he was drafted where he was, it's not the same kind of investment, but I'm cautiously optimistic on Tyler Shuck. I didn't really hate Tyler Shuck. Tim Hawkins, I cannot believe that you're a grown adult and cannot spell Shuck right, and you spell it slow every time.
He's probably on his phone, and even then, we still appreciate you, Tim Hawkins. Ryan, be nice, okay? He's the one commenting.
We do appreciate your comments, but I see him talk about Tyler Shuck all the time, and I can't respond because he can't spell his name right. And I'm like, God, that infuriates me.
Hey, dude, that's awesome that you started him and had the balls to start him in the championship week.
I mean, at this point, all the Saints were doing with Alvin Kamara and Devin Neal out was just throwing the ball every play.
Dude, he was throwing dimes.
Short passes.
Dude, he was throwing dimes.
I mean, that's what happens when you spend 7 years in college and practicing.
I know. Age is but a number.
That
The
wasn't a
dude went
joke.
out and proved everybody wrong.
Yeah, well, except for me, I was probably the only person that at least liked him. I mean, I didn't think he was going to be this good, so I guess I am wrong too.
I
But
like the arm talent, and I like that he did well in multiple different systems. I thought his brain was there. The question for me was always the injuries. You spend 7 years because you get injured.
I started Taysom Hill championship weekend and won. Jesus Christ.
That's just as ballsy.
Crazy, dude.
That's actually probably more ballsy, but hey, buddy.
Oh, yeah, that's way more ballsy.
I'm glad you won. That's awesome to hear. And welcome to the show, buddy. Please like, share, subscribe, guys. We love y'all. But okay, we're going to move on to the running backs.
Worth noting real quick about Tyler Shuck. You talked about arm talent. Tyler Shuck finished QB6 on a week where he threw 20 passes, completed 13 for 144 yards and no touchdowns. I mean, we're talking 4 straight games, 7, 6, 7, 8 carries, and substantial yards too. There's something there. There's a floor.
Gets me every time. Derrick Henry covered his points.
So I'm done talking about Tyler Shuck. We can move on to the running backs. I apologize.
Oh, you're good, brother. No worries. We're here to BS, dude, and that's what we do best. But yeah, no running backs here. So the 4 running backs I have mentioned right there by Timothy Brandt. It's Derrick Henry, Bijan, CMC, and Chase Brown. And Derrick Henry went in there. He was running back 9, week 16, and then everybody knows what the hell he did. He brought home so many championships for people last week, putting up 46 fantasy points, was running back number 1 overall. And guess what? The old king still has it. He's got the legs. And more importantly, I'm rooting for him this weekend. There's no fantasy for me, but that boy deserves a ring. He's been through the gauntlet of hell at Tennessee. Did so many great things. I want to see Derrick Henry get a ring. Sadly, probably won't. But Bijan out there, and I will admit this, 1,000% will admit this, I was wrong about Bijan. I made a trade last year where I had Breece Hall and Bijan. And I was like, the dude was like, I want one of them. And I ran through it, and I was like, well, Breece just went nuclear. He's going to have Aaron Rodgers. We're good. And I traded Bijan. And ever since then, I wanted to kick myself in the face.
What did you get in return for Bijan?
I got Bo Nix, Jonathan Taylor, and something else.
It wasn't a bad trade at all.
You actually flamed me because Jonathan Taylor was injured.
Probably
he was injured, and you said, you homer son of a bitch, you just flamed your team.
That sounds like me. That sounds like something I would say for sure.
Looking back now, it sounds good, but I instantly traded Jonathan Taylor for some running back that didn't do shit and a receiver like Nico.
That's where you screwed up.
Yeah. And
that's what the trading Jonathan Taylor thing is the thing you should be kicking yourself about, not necessarily the Bijan thing.
Yeah, but I have no Bijan shares, and I'm never going to own him now after that, so that's fine. But he finished running back 4 with 30 points and running back 2 with running back 2 with 40 points. I was like, did I read that right? But then I forgot King Henry had 46. So, Bijan actually cost me. I was playing against him in a championship league for the Expo. And I had Puka Nacua. I had a 5-point lead, and he had Bijan. And I was like, this is going to be a sweat. It wasn't a sweat. I got my ass kicked.
Oh, man.
But
that's good.
We had CMC, and that's running back 2 with 33 points and running back 4 with 28 points. And then we have Chase Brown with running back 1 with 33 points and running back 3 with 29 points. And now most championship teams had CMC, Bijan, and Derrick Henry probably on their teams. But I know in my 2 leagues that I won, I had Chase Brown. Not only Chase Brown, I had him in my flex. And so that's how you know you're living right. But
you want to know who my running backs were on my championship winning team?
let me hear.
Okay, so the one was Travis Etienne, who has been pretty much great all year. I was wrong about Travis Etienne. I moved off of him quickly. Figured it was better to be out a year early, even in some leagues where I was trying to compete, and it didn't go very well. The other player finished running back. Do you have the rankings in front of you?
Yeah, what do you need?
Don't look.
No, okay.
Running back 19 in week 16 and running back 10 in week 17. Do you know who it was?
Just because I think it's Audric Estime, isn't it?
No, it's Omarion Hampton, who we all loved coming into the season. Great situation, but he missed the majority of it. So come championship weekend, right when he's coming back off a 14.7 and a 7.5 point game, you're in the semifinals looking like, should I start this guy? Like, what the hell's going on?
Exactly.
16 and a half points, finishes running back 19, very respectable finish. And then in my championship game, he put up 20 points, finished as running back 10 on the week. Very, very high note for Omarion Hampton. Would love to see him, just get healthy in the offseason, come back. Hopefully the Chargers get their tackles, healthy in the offseason, rebuild that line. And, looking forward to having Omarion Hampton in one of my Dynasty leagues.
Yeah, I sadly have not been able to get him at all. I'm looking at you, Timothy Montgomery. I almost got a trade done and he chickened out. He said, do this. And I said, okay, did it. And he said, I can't. Don't you hate when jackasses do that? I'm said jackass.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Timmy Brandt is still in the chat.
No, Timmy is. He said he appreciated you, my guy.
Oh, yeah. I hope you heard that, Tim.
I had Chase Brown and Henry. Yeah, dude, that's clearly why you won.
But, yeah, I mean, Travis Etienne, down the stretch, RB 18 in week 16, RB 20 in week 17. Not overly impressive, but he won me a championship, so he's in trying.
Hey, no, he did. Not a good year for Denver cutting running backs. Javonte Williams knocked it out here.
Not like a great year for Denver running backs in general. I mean, RJ Harvey, I'm surprised you didn't bring him up. RJ Harvey with back-to-back RB1 finishes to close out the fantasy season.
Mm-hmm.
RB11 and RB11. So, I mean, he really hit his stride after the bye week. 21.2, 22, 10.5, 22.1, 18.6. That's he was a league winner too, right? RB2, RB4, RB27, RB11, RB11 down the stretch. That's the league definition of league winning.
Yeah, like I said, when I started this, I prefaced it with the running backs that were in the top 10 both weeks because that's the consistency that you needed. These are the consistent guys you have. And now, let me ask you this: CMC, Derrick Henry, both old as molasses, okay? Like lasted their generations pretty much. Are you buying them or are you trying to sell them right now?
Christian McCaffrey will, if I owned any of them, would never leave my team. Simply just because there's always that lingering injury history that's going to kind of – the reality is like CMC and Derrick Henry, no matter what they do, their values are going to go down, right? They just had, monster championship weeks, and we'll do our Dynasty offseason rankings in February and June, and they will be like somewhere in the low RB1 range at best. That's just the way it is. But I'd probably be more inclined to lean sell for Derrick Henry. I mean, for most of the season, this guy didn't look very good. It kind of just seems like the ground's at least starting to shake a little bit. But CMC just would not leave my roster. I was wondering what Jake was doing with the hand thing there, but looks like he had to step away real quick. So, but yeah, that's just the nature of the beast. If I own either CMC or Derrick Henry, I'm probably keeping both unless, like I can get like a 1 and a 2 or a 1 and a 3 or a 1 and a flyer, or I'm just something where like the value is too good to pass up on. Tim Brandt says Hawkins did a 180 on T-Law in the last 2 weeks. That shows growth right there on both parts. One, because Hawkins, did a 180 on T-Law, which is very impressive. Number two, Tim, it shows, Tim Brandt, it shows growth for you because you always screw this up and say somebody did a 360, which doesn't make any sense. So good on both of you guys with just absolute growth right here. That is, love to see stuff like this.
I think he means a full circle, if you will. If somebody does a full circle, they come back to their starting point.
I think he means come around.
You see, I take a 360 as a circle.
Well, yeah, I mean 360 is a circle, but like.
And so if you start at one thing and then you go all the way back to the same point, I think that's what he meant, but we don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
So would you spend 111 on, I'm assuming that's supposed to be on CMC? Yeah, as the CMC owner, though, I'm telling you, I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah, no. Yeah, as the CMC owner, I'd be like.
I mean, there's nobody that I'm going to draft at 111 realistically in the next 3 years that's going to outscore CMC.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan, since you brought this up, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You have Devon Achane here.
Okay.
You get offered the 111, and what else do you need to get that trade done?
So, like, do I have, like, all picks at my disposal? Are you talking pick value?
A dude comes at you, and he's just like, okay, I want Achane. I got the 111. What else do you want?
My initial thought, and this is going to sound real crazy, 105 or 106?
Yeah, I can see that.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
No, I just saw the 111 for the CMC, and I was just like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I would need like 105, 106 at least. It probably. Actually, at this point in time, I would firmly say it needs to be 105, probably like 104, maybe even 103. Just because as of today, assuming Fernando Mendoza comes out of the draft, there's 5 prospects that I can like categorize, 101 through 105. So I would probably need to get my hands on like firm on one of them. Yeah. So probably 104, 105, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm gonna need like the 104 and like 108 type of deal.
Yeah, that's if I have HN, that I don't think that's an unreasonable ask.
Not at all. I don't think so either. Man balled out, and he might actually get more help at quarterback. Who knows?
Devon Achane has more fantasy points per touch in his career than both Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson.
Dude, he's electric.
He just doesn't get the same kind of volume that they do.
Nope.
But yeah, it would need to be like a mid to early first and on top of 111. I don't think that's unreasonable. Honestly, like I would probably go as high as 102. Like if I had all these picks at my disposal and I felt like Devon Achane was like, the one piece that I need, like I'd go as high as 102. Although I think it's a bit of a stretch.
I got you. Sorry for the little distraction there. Just a fun little fantasy question there.
Yeah, okay, up next. Good question.
Up next, we have the wide receivers. There's only 2 wide receivers that scored in the top 10 both weeks.
I would love to talk about wide receivers because there are 2 names that we just need to have a discussion about before we move into the offseason. So why don't we go ahead and start with, the 2 guys that have finished top 10 both weeks.
Here's a question. Can you guess the 2? There's no way you guessed the.
Okay, so I did see the first 4 just because I happened to move over to wide receiver.
You're good? Give me that guess.
Olave?
Olave's one of them.
Yeah, I figured Shuck did pretty well, so Olave had to.
Finished wide receiver 2 both weeks with 37 points and 26 points.
Is it Godwin?
It's not Godwin.
Godwin balled in the finals.
Ooh, Christian Watson, not a bad guess, and we will talk about him. I have a strong feeling in a little bit.
Oh yeah. He's like, we can have a third. He can kind of get thrown in there too. Let's see. God, who bowled out?
Chat, you're welcome to guess as well.
It's not Jamar Chase. I know that.
Nope.
Fuck, man.
1 second. Fiance. Keep guessing. Run through them. I'll let you know.
What conference does he play in?
He plays in the AFC South.
Ooh, okay. Is it Jacoby Myers? You can shake your head, yes or no. You're on mute. Jacoby Myers, AFC South.
Sorry about that. The fiance called. So
I was about to say Parker Washington.
After I said podcast, so I had to. Nah, these guys are looking. They're definitely looking. Bunch of cheaters trying to look smart.
Parker Washington.
Yep.
That's a good. Yeah.
Man finished with wide receiver 3, wide receiver 9, and had 27 points and 19 points. Fun fact: he's part of the reason I won my big league. I had to start him in the flex because DK decided he was going to go slap a fan in the face.
That was crazy, dude. That was insane. Just because he got called by his government name, dude. Like, wild. Absolutely wild.
Isn't it Dequarius King?
I have no idea what it is.
I'm curious what DK actually stands for now.
It's something, man. But I don't want him to jump through the window and beat me up. So
yeah, no, watch. Oh my god,
dude. But,
no, he did ball out last week. Okay, there we go, Hawkins. I appreciate it. No, y'all, way to go. I like it. But yeah, no, Parker Washington balled out. The wide receiver core looks pretty freaking strong there. Next year should be interesting. You have Myers, who you locked up. You have your first round pick in Travis. Do you think Travis even plays offense anymore?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they didn't trade up to number 2 overall to throw an extra first for a cornerback.
I mean, I would throw a late second at Parker Washington right now.
Parker Washington's an interesting one because I can't imagine a world where all 4 of Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, and Jacoby Myers are all on the Jags. Now, under this new regime, they drafted Travis Hunter, traded an extra first-round pick on top of their number 5 pick to get him, and they locked up Jacoby Myers and traded for him in the middle of the season. That tells me one of Brian Thomas Jr. and Parker Washington might be going somewhere this offseason because I just don't – and I could be totally wrong on it. Maybe it's some hopium that they get a little bit freed up out of that wide receiver room, but I just don't see a world where all 4 of them are on that roster next year.
So what I'm hearing from you is BTJ is a big buy now?
I don't think you can buy BTJ for a price that you're going to like being a true buy from. Like, okay, let me ask you this. Today, 107 or BTJ?
BTJ.
Okay. So I think that's kind of like where it's at. It's like how cheap can you really get them? Like 105, 106? I mean, the reality is, there was a scout in the NFL that said, I don't know who it was, so my bad if you're ever listening to this show. If you can do it once, you can do it every time. And we just saw Brian Thomas Jr. go for like 1,200 yards as a rookie. So, and it is worth noting that, every great receiver is going to have that blip on the radar kind of finish. Look at Justin Jefferson this year. CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase. I mean, maybe not Jamar Chase, but they've all had it. Every great receiver has had that one season where it's like, they obviously didn't do very well. Maybe Brian Thomas Jr. just came in year 2. So who knows? He needs to get a little bit healthier. He needs to get on the same page. Maybe he just needs the offseason to kind of reset. So,
I did trade. Prior fan of the show, Joey Silva. In November, I got. That's new. Can you still hear him?
You're good, man. I have dogs too.
I know, but they freak out when their mom shows up, and that's how I know she's home now. I traded Kenneth Walker and Matthew Golden for BTJ.
That's an interesting trade. I would take BTJ there pretty easily, although Kenneth Walker, showed out down the stretch here, and he went off in week 16, and Charbonnet went off in 17. Yeah, so
yeah.
And Kenneth Walker is also a free agent. He's somebody that we're going to need to talk about here in the coming weeks, upcoming free agents and whatnot, guys to keep an eye on. Yeah,
Jefferson is a hold. Yes,
yeah, 100.
Great.
If I had to pick buy or sell, he's a buy. I mean, I would at least reach out and be like, hey, man, what's your temperature? Like, how you feeling? Maybe there's a Jefferson owner in the world where they are scared they're running it back with J.J. McCarthy, who they think absolutely stinks. So maybe they'll sell Jefferson at a small discount. But, I mean, dude's elite for a reason. So
no, exactly. It's insane. Some people are insane, but it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? Yeah. Worst they can do is say, you're a goddamn idiot. I can't believe you asked me that question, but
right. And then last but not least, I know we started with Chig as the tight end.
Wide receivers. We actually, one of them we just talked about. The one that we needed to have a conversation about was Brian Thomas Jr. and what that was going on there. So that was a great segue. The other one is the name I mentioned to you earlier about, what I thought would be a good landing spot. What are you doing with Wan'Dale Robinson?
Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm trying to sell him for anything that I can.
What's the lowest offer you would take?
201.
So you wouldn't sell him for anything less than a first?
Essentially, yeah.
Why is he a sell? Just curious.
Because honestly, I don't like the gamble on it. I don't like the thoughts that he can go out there. He can do crazy things, but he's not going to. I don't know. I don't like if he stays. He has neighbors, so he's always going to be the 2. And if you go somewhere else, we don't know the quarterback play. We don't know the players he'll go with. And so that's the gamble. And that's why I don't want to give up or sell him for anything less, because he has the possibility to go somewhere where he's the one and I like it. And then
to me, it sounds like you described more of a hold.
Yeah, I guess he's a hold. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. But yeah, Wan'Dale's interesting. Like if I think that he's a good hold.
I don't hate that.
But this is a guy worth noting. So he tore his ACL, I think, in his first year, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, his first year is kind of a wash. Toward the end of his second year, he started to look okay. But year 3, 140 targets. Granted, he finished as wide receiver 36 because the Giants quarterback play 2 years ago was awful. And then that 140 targets was with Malik Neighbors, fully healthy, fully there. So he was still seeing a large volume of targets. And then there was obviously this year, which was aided by, Malik Neighbors being hurt pretty early in the season. But he's on pace to finish with another 140 targets and borderline top 12 wide receiver. So the talent is there. They now have Jackson Dart, who is a much better thrower of the football than anybody they had 2 years ago when he got 140 targets. And I like the point that was brought up in the chat. It was like he can be a great number 2. There's also the fact that he is a free agent. He can go sign wherever he wants. The team I brought up to you was the 49ers, because outside of Ricky Pearsall, who is dead for fantasy football at this point, they don't have anybody. Juwan Jennings is a free agent. They refuse to pay him. Brandon Ayuk is gone. I mean, he is not going to be a 49er in 2026. And then who else are they carrying on that team playing wide receiver? Jacob Cowing. He spent all year on IR. They are absolutely going to be looking for wide receivers over there on that team, especially with Kittle and CMC aging.
Oh no, I think Pearsall is not getting a fair shake here. He actually did pretty well. I think
In
he had
the
like
5
89
games
yards.
he's played in his whole career.
Huh?
In the 5 games he's played in his whole career.
I know. But I mean, I actually think Pearsall is like Christian Watson right now. He's got to learn how to stay healthy. The talent's there. They spent a first-round pick on him, did they not?
They did, but I mean, I think at this point, like when you've played so he's got 34 possible games. He's probably played 20 of them.
Mm.
I mean, what do you do with that? How do you evaluate a player on that?
Okay.
That's
let's get to the tight ends here.
Landing spot too, New England.
New England is a good. Sorry, we are going to have to wrap this up sooner or later. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But tight ends, Juwan Johnson and Hunter Henry are the other two next to Chig. And honestly, I know you're a Hunter Henry lover. You have been on that boy, riding him like a show pony.
I love Hunter Henry.
He finished tight end 7, tight end 8, scoring 19 and 15 points. Mr. Consistency, you could have totally traded if you're a contender, you could have traded your second and just been mighty fine with him. And then Juwan Johnson, who finally had his year.
Juwan Johnson, carried me to the semis in Scott Fish Bowl. He was a large, reason why I got there.
Yeah, no, man balled out. Offense loves him. He finally stayed healthy. 21 points, 16 points. He looks like he's part of that offense's future, and I love it because I have so many shares of him.
So I had 2 shares of Hunter Henry that I traded down the stretch, one in a league where I didn't make the playoffs, and then the other one right before the finals. So I traded Hunter Henry for a 3rd-round pick, which was an undersell on my part. But the reality is this is a guy that, nobody really cares about, nobody likes. So, I mean, how much more am I going to get? Maybe a second for him? Dude didn't have any seconds in 26 or 27 that I was selling to anyway. So, yeah. And then the other one, I traded him for TJ Hawkinson straight up in a league where I have Trey McBride, so I don't really care if TJ Hawkinson sucks. But if he ever does come back to form, then, I got another piece that I can move. And TJ Hawkinson, unlike Hunter Henry, carries some very good name value. So I can sell him for a lot more than I could sell Hunter Henry for at any point during the season.
But yeah, no. So, Ryan, last question before we gotta go. Sweet, I just got my payout from that league. But who is your fantasy football MVP?
I have 2 names in mind. This is super close. I know who you're gonna say, so I'll say somebody different.
Who do you think I'm gonna say?
You're gonna say Christian McCaffrey.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Okay, then I'm gonna say Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, Christian McCaffrey, go ahead.
Who basically went off every single week, managed to stay healthy when coming, this past offseason, people were like, is he going to stay healthy? There were a lot of huge question marks. That's pretty much the only question mark about Christian McCaffrey. Is he going to stay on the field? And he stayed on the field all 17 games, and all 17 games he went off. So that's who my MVP is. He, was the set and forget guy, played every single game and won you a lot of championships.
Heck yeah. Okay, my guy, Chase Brown.
Yep, that's a good one. That guy's a smash sell for me, but that's a different conversation.
Oh yeah, no, I don't blame you if you do, but you could have got him for nothing outside of after the 5th week.
That was the other name the only reason I leaned McCaffrey over McBride was because in the semis, Trey McBride just absolutely, he lost a lot of people an opportunity to find.
Oh no, yeah, he cost me 2 leagues.
Yeah, he cost me a couple leagues too. He just sold me out, man. That's the only reason though. Trey McBride's positional value compared to everybody else this year was absolutely insane. So if you want to make him your MVP, totally cool with that.
I got you. Well, I just got a text from fiance saying Ruger just peed all over the house, so I think that's a good segue to get out of here. Everybody, I appreciate all the comments, all the people that watched. This is BSC Sports, part of the BS Network, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports.